my channel, AquaStarGoddess. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. Hit that bell button so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video. You know, girl or guy, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, welcome to this video. I don't really have a topic for the night. I know that yesterday I was ranting and basically venting, and today I don't have that. I don't got that for you. I'm not feeling upset or irritated like I was yesterday. I was just watching this conversation on TikTok, and it was a live video on TikTok, and they were talking about, like, is being a good man overrated? And absolutely not. It's not overrated. But I think one of the things that we really got we got this so bad. You know what I think? I think whenever we would talk about, like, issues that we would have and things that we would want change for within our community, a lot of times our issues were dismissed. I'm talking about the Black community specifically. A lot of the times our issues would be dismissed, or people would say stuff like, but what about black on black crime? You know what I mean? Just to kind of like diminish our whole argument and to diminish the issue that we have, that we would want change for. And so instead of getting any change for our issues, people would dismiss them because somebody would say something like, oh, what about black on black crime? Or what about this or that? And what I'm noticing now is that inside of the community, people are doing exactly that. It's like the cycle of the inability to actually get the results. It's like become a cycle, and it's like rearing its ugly head. You know what I mean? So like, so you never really get any resolve with the issues that come up or the problems that, you know, that are had. So I just noticed that. I just have to point that out because I noticed that a lot of people do that. Not just Caucasian people, but Black people, Caribbean people, all sorts of people. If you have an issue with any group, any subset of a group in the Black community, and that specific subset or group is trying to, you know, call for some change or, you know, express concern about specific issues, there is always somebody that is going to dismiss that issue with a whole bunch of stats that have nothing to do with the actual issue in order to diminish the situation. The problem with that is that if you allow your issues to get soiled or to be diminished, you'll never get results. And that's where we are. This cycle of not getting results, never getting a result, never getting no change, not really seeing anything actually go into fruition, is because the loss and the lack of follow through, the loss and the lack of attention on the actual issues at hand. So that's something that for sure needs to be called out. You know, I just feel like ultimately, like yesterday I was on here and I was just irritated about, you know, sorry. Yesterday I was on here and I was just irritated that men are trying to talk to me. Ultimately, that's really what it was. I was just irritated that men are, you know, basically interested in me. It's like, why would you have a problem with that? The reason for that is because right now I obviously, you know, it's just, you know, it's a delicate time in my life, and right now I'm just not interested in, you know, being of interest in romance right now. So so that's why I was having that conversation. But through and through and all in all, you know, I don't have an issue with men. Like I don't have this hatred for men or any of that stuff that some of these people talk about. But I also have my own opinions, about what would be considered feminist topics, right? But these types of topics that I have, my opinions about, a lot of times they're not those types of opinions that keep women single or that hurt the group, okay? It's when you layer it's when you layer a bunch of situations that, it could be harmful, being a feminist. It's when you layer certain things that it can become harmful. I do feel, though, that the Black community, specifically Black women, when it comes to the feminist movement, it's almost as though you have to have like your very own movement. It can't be the same movement as Caucasian women or other women. It cannot be the same cause or movement. It's like you have to create your very own separate movement because you have different issues, and I know that might sound, some people might feel that sounds counterintuitive, but it's not. You just got to think about it. When we start on movements about stuff, it gets hijacked oftentimes, or our issues go unnoticed. They get put down, and then they never get resolved, and so I think that we should have our own separate movements so that we also don't get caught up in the Caucasian woman has just a different little level of how she gonna do stuff in general, right? Hey, Angelus, let me see. Girl, I sent the message and sent prank calls to him. He blew my phone up. Oh, okay. I'm childish as fuck. I'm sorry. Let me hurry up and turn 22. That is crazy. That message was so terrible. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was clutching my pearls, baby. I was clutching my pearls. Like, oh my goodness. Right? But, I skimmed through it or whatever. But I was like, yeah, baby, just burn this one. So apparently he was not happy with that message. Like, oh no, you are not going to send this to my phone, God damn it. And I get it, because there was a lot said in there, and let's just say, his situation happened to just, glance at some shit. Oh, it's going to be fight night and that bitch, So I get it. Motherfucker, answer this damn phone. Did you talk to him? Okay, because you said he blew the phone up. Oh shit. Anyway, though, like, I just feel like it's important for us to recognize that, the Caucasian, movements, the women, they oftentimes come and like hijack movements, or they like hijack the attention, because oftentimes they really don't get a lot of results when they are doing their own movements. They don't get a lot of results, okay? And so we got to be mindful of that. We got to be mindful of the people and the groups of people that actually literally just come in and use us, okay? And the reason for that is because in reality, we have to have something more like a more poignant conversation with our men, okay, about how we are feeling. And I think that, if we can be more clear on the issues that we have with our men specifically, without it being a big tussle, a big argument. I will say this, I'm just exhausted with these conversations about black men, black women going at each other. It's fucking exhausting, honestly. And it's just like, you know what, fuck everybody. You get to the point where you don't want to talk about none of this shit, right? Because in reality, look, there's always going to be a group of people, and this is what I think sometimes maybe we just so hyper focused on fixing all sorts of shit that we not really recognizing that little by little you can start by fixing yourself, your own thoughts, your own feelings, how you move, how you act, the types of decisions you make, how you raising your kids, you know what I mean? Like, that's the best thing that you can really do. Modeling is the best way to teach. Modeling. And so when you model good behavior, when you model certain shit, then people pick that stuff up. And I think that's probably just the better way to do it. Instead of getting on the fucking internet and yelling at each other, it's just stupid. It just gets to a point where it's just like, good Lord, like every time it's got to be an argument about something. And it's fucking exhausting, honestly. It's just getting to the point now where I just like, I can only take so much of this shit, you know? I can only take so much of this shit before I'm like, psh, I'm out of this. I'm out of this shit. But another thing that I have noticed, I've just noticed a couple of different things. Like, I have actually noticed, and this is something that I never really picked up on because it's just not something that I was ever in tune with, that there are like other groups of black people that have issue with American black people, like Caribbean people or like African people that have real issues with like American black people. And it's crazy because shit, I mean, it'd be hatred. Like, it'd be like deep-seated hatred. Like, damn, how you feel like that? Like, how do you manage to feel that way? And I guess, you know, like, I guess if it's some things where they were bullied as kids, okay, and then it just carried on into adult life, I guess. But you know, I just can't see myself hating anybody that much. The reason why I say this, because there's this video where this African woman is like, I hate you guys, I hate you, I hate you. I was like, shit. I was like, good Lord, sis, you've been holding on to that for a long time, okay? You've been holding on to some shit, you know. I just don't vibe like that personally, but you know, I get it. If that's how you feel, that's what you need to experience, that's what you experiencing, and I get it. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that just because I don't experience certain things that I'm not sitting here trying to invalidate your experience. I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings. I'm not trying to invalidate what you think. Shit. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I can't relate. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I don't identify with that shit. That's all I'm saying. You know, so so that's one thing. There's just so many layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of shit. And honestly, girl, just find me in my damn garden. This is where it's just like, girl, I just need to go into my garden and just be in my garden and you know, grow my weed or smoke my weed or whatever, you know, and just leave it at that. Because you can't fix the fucking world. You know, you can do what you can do. You can energetically do some healing, and I do those things. I do like energetic healing for like the collective. I do like you know, sometimes when I get on here and I talk to y'all about methods that you can use. Hey Ivory, how you doing? I get on here and I talk about methods that you can use to like heal yourself. You know, that's me doing my work, right? Like, that's me doing the greater good for collective, because each one teach one. Every time I teach one person something, they take it to the next person and the next person and the next person and the next person. Before you know, it does expand and it does flow. But there is, just as much as I'm sitting here doing this work, we got to be mindful that there is a fucking evil force, okay? A fucking whole goddamn force that is going against all of the good things that I've been, you know, expressing and sharing with you guys, and a very negative energy that comes from that realm. Now, obviously, there's duality in life. There's always going to be checks and balances. For every good, there's an evil, right? So I get that. So that's one of the reasons why, because evil don't sleep, bitch, I can't sleep either. I got to be on this motherfucker, even when it's just the two of us. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like, because evil don't sleep, boo. It will not sleep. And every time you just take a little break, evil get to running rampant, and you be like, God damn it, now I got to redo some of the work I just did, and it gets to be in a mess. So, you know, keep yourself in balance was why I'm working on that element right now. I'm kind of working on that element of maintaining my balance so that I can consistently keep a consistent flow of good vibes, good energy, and keeping y'all on the right path, you know. But girl, it be tired. I tell you that now, I be getting tired sometimes. I be like, fuck y'all for a second. I'll be back in a minute. Y'all gonna have to smoke some weed or something, okay? Because I need a fucking break, okay? So I be like that sometimes. It really do be like that sometimes. Let me see. Oh, you Angela's, you hung up? But he had me fucked up. Oh, okay. Well, shit. I mean, If you want them kind of problems, then you know that's what you gonna do then. You know, you create more problems. You want them kind of problems. It's just that simple. So, okay, I just had to let some people pass me because it's like, for God's sake, go the fuck around. You know what I mean? If you see me going 35, bitch, and the speed limit is 45, go the fuck around. Okay? Motherfuckers just slow down with you. That's what make me think, what's going on? Why the fuck is you slowing down with me, ho? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, that wasn't nice. Anyway, listen, you know, there's a lot of things going on. We are battling evil day in and day out. The job is never fucking done. And I tell you, child, I be tired, okay? I be like, bitch, I need a 3-week nap, okay? Because this is just, oh my God. Like, and it's just like that force says be with you. Like, I understand now why in Star Wars it was like, may the force be with you. Because you need the fucking force, okay? You need the goddamn force because it's just so much fucking evil going on in life. And when they see like the good taking over, all these motherfuckers be getting vengeance. They be getting vengeful and they revengeful and they be mad and then they get to feeling all evil and it's like the little bubbles start boiling up on the top of their skin or something and they be just angry and they come out viciously. And it's like, God damn. Like, I know that's how I be feeling anyway. I be tired of them be like, golly, motherfuckers. So, you know, that's just it. So, you know, here I am again, you know, trying to share something. I don't know what I'm sharing today. It's just, you know, what I see is, look, at this point, I can't talk about the problems no more. I'm going to only be able to sit there and focus on the solution, okay? And, you know, it's sometimes I'm going to focus on the problem because sometimes I'm irritated as hell. Sometimes I'm pissed the fuck off. Sometimes I just want to punch somebody in the fucking face. And that's just facts. You know, like sometimes I want to punch you in the face. Not you specifically. But, so, you know, sometimes you get to that point where you're like, bitch, I just want to go mollywop somebody real quick. Like, I just want to mollywop somebody real quick. You know, and since I can't do that, you know, because I'm trying to be a changed person, okay? You know, I'm just trying to be a better person in life. You know, oftentimes I find that I need to find some other way to, you know, relieve my little stressors, okay? So, like I said, I like being in my garden, you know. And right now, my garden is in my imagination because I am now figuring out my life, okay? So, my whole life is just all over the place right now. I'm not tripping about it though, because in all reality, sometimes like things like this are exactly necessary, and I take it like that. I take it like, okay, this is exactly what I needed, because it's giving me a reset. It's giving me it's giving me a space to figure exactly out like how I want to build and create my life, right? So I look at it like, okay, the world might be like, oh my God, there's so much going on, like, or they might be like, oh my God, like you're just. But girl, bye. I don't care. Like, I don't think of it like that, because to me, it's like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity for me to make it better, like to make my life better than it ever was. Like, you know, this is the perfect opportunity for me to create like even better than it was, or just like build something even more, or to mold and shape what I want to happen exactly as I want it. So I literally see it like that. And I know a lot of people might be like, girl, that's just, you know, but I don't care, because it ain't about nobody else. It's about me. That's really what it's about. It's about me. And it's about me deciding, where am I going with this? What am I doing with this? How am I allowing these things to form and to shape and stuff like that? So, excuse me. You know, so in that regard, it doesn't really I don't know. I just think that, you know, there was a time period when I was like younger where certain people in my life, it's like their opinion meant so much. And like, if they weren't, if like I would get advice from them or whatever, and you know, it was important for me to like do things that was right, or you know what I mean, something like that, right? But girl, I realize everybody's just here trying to figure shit out, you know what I mean? And so like, and most times people are so focused on their own fucking lives, they can't determine whether or not what you're doing is right or wrong any fucking way. Okay? And so obviously as you become an adult, you make your own choices, your own decisions and stuff like that, and people can't have a say so in what's going on with you. I think now it's more so, and I think I can't say 100% it was more about other people, because it's always been about how do I feel, like how do I feel about life, how do I feel about my life, how do I feel about just anything, about whatever. It's always been about making sure that I am kind of feeling good and happy and just kind of excited about, or liking, or loving, or just happy, rather. Happy is probably the best part. I'm more so worried about my happiness. And I won't say that's the only thing, because, you know, when I got married, it was more about the happiness of everybody else, right? And so only just now am I like, okay, how do I feel, you know, about all of this stuff? How do I feel about how everything is working out or everything is going on, right? Because ultimately, I think maybe it's just like when you get married, it's like a sense of duty. You know what I mean? And so therefore all of that personal, how do I feel shit kind of goes away. But the terms of agreements have been breached. So yeah. When the terms of agreements have been breached, I guess we're gonna choose something different. Okay, let me get all that together here. Ooh. Okay. So like, when you're married, it just becomes like a sense of duty. It's like, well, for me, it was like that anyway. It's like, so my decisions and stuff like that, family, because it becomes like, it's like a sense of duty. You know what I mean? Like, how is this going to impact the collective of everybody before making those decisions? And I think that is important in a marriage, to have some level of that, because it's not just you anymore. It is. I'm gonna check my cameras. Anyway, when you get married, you know, it's not just you anymore. And so it does become like a sense of duty. You know what I mean? Like the choices that you make, it has to make sense for everybody, not just yourself, you know? So like, when I got married, that's what was important to me, you know? Yeah, I need to check my cameras because it seems like somebody was here. Anyway, you know, it's like, you know, when you're married, you have like I had like a sense of duty. So it wasn't just like I was making decisions for myself when I got married. But now that there's some sort of a breach, there's a breach. Now I'm thinking about, well, what will I do in terms of my happiness moving forward in the future? So, you know, it's not always been like that. It's just kind of, like I said, if there's a breach, which there is. Well, here we are, thinking differently. Whenever you're getting a mammogram tomorrow, well, good luck, babe. So anyway, I don't know that I want to continue to talk about certain things. I think this whole male-female dynamic is just really getting stupid. And I think it's just a plot to keep us all separated, honestly. I don't think that there's even real valid issues because, well, I will say this. One of the things that I learned through being married and, being married for a long time is that somebody has to let go. Somebody has to let go of the issue. Somebody has to decide not to be angry. Somebody has to decide to give in, give forgiveness, stuff like that. And oftentimes, especially during the beginning, it was always most likely me. Lately, not so much. Lately, I'm just like, fuck you. But in the beginning, it was mostly me that always gave in or just kind of like forgive or whatever, moved past things that were hurtful or harmful to me in the relationship. But regardless, that is one of the things one of the components that is required. That is one of the required components. Forgiveness. Being able to forgive your partner for things and oftentimes it's not even big stuff. Oftentimes it's little stupid shit, but little stupid shit adds up over time, and over time it becomes big stupid shit, because the little stupid shit gets little, but it's little piles turn into big piles at some point. So that was one of the things that, one of the components of a relationship that are going to be necessary is the ability to forgive and to understand and to overlook and, stuff like that. Not to say that you should be a doormat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're a fucking doormat. But what I am saying is that you ain't going to get too far if all you think is called cancel culture is the only response. It's just like, it's just logic. Let's just look at this logically. If cancel culture is how you operate in all of the relationships and all the things that you got going on, and the first sign of anything that upsets you or bother you or get on your nerves, you canceling, well, guess what? That's fine. You can make that choice, but also you will be also most likely making the choice that you'll probably never get very far in a relationship. And it's just a fucking fact. I mean, sometimes people like to get mad at the actual facts. The actual factual is just that, the actual fucking factual, okay? So yeah, forgiveness is one of the requirements of having longevity in a relationship. I think the way that this male-female relationship, male-female dynamic conversations are going, though, I think that they're very disrespectful. And I think that they are not conducive, they're not productive because they're not conducive to change. They're not conducive to improvement. They're actually, the way that they're happening is actually just geared towards continued agitation on either side and then growing to resentment. So the agitation turns into resentment because people are missing the core basics, the core foundation of connections and relationships, which is respect. Communication, effective, clear, concise communication, and respect. Those things are absolutely needed, but resentment will and can build up if those things go out the window. If you let respect go out of the relationship or the connection or the communications factor, then you can bet your ass there won't be very much change. There won't be very much resolve. There won't be very much improvement in any type of dynamic of conversation, and it doesn't matter who's having it. And so that's one of the things that needs to be addressed like ASAP. The way in which you have conversation has to evolve. And now I'm starting to wonder, maybe do you even need conversation? Like, do you need to have the conversation? Or maybe is it just something that you could see that it is what it is, and you allow yourself to just simply make change. But that's probably sounds crazy to somebody in the world. Anyway, listen. Ultimately, these conversations are not very productive if you can't hear yourselves, if you can't hear each other, then the conversation is not productive and it's not conducive to change. It's not conducive to improvement. If it's not conducive to improvement, then you're just arguing and debating for no fucking reason. And that's kind of basically where it's all at. So I'm going to get off of here because I want to take a nap before I got to get up in a couple of hours and go do some stuff. And I think I want to just take some time to think as well. But don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications when I upload new videos, and smash the like button.